Katie, I heard all about it. You guys were able to buy yourselves a house. What kind of house is it? Where did you guys end up buying it at? Where's the house located? Are you guys close to any bus stops or subway stations?
Hello, Eleanor. We were planning to start telling everyone about the new house after we moved in and got comfortable, but it seemed like you heard about us from someone else first.
So, when did you guys move in?
We were still working on the paperwork, so it'll be a bit until we are completely moved in. We'll be going to the place with a moving truck once those papers are all taken care of.
When will that be?
Around the beginning of next month, we think.
The beginning of next month? And how many rooms are in the place?
Do you mind asking your brother about all that?
He won't ever tell me anything about your new house. He's always been such a selfish little boy.
Well, if he's not willing to tell you anything, then what makes you think that I will? I'm sorry, but until he begins to talk more about the house, I'm going to refrain from answering you.
Hold on a second. What the heck? And who do you think you are? I'm the one asking you a question here, and that means when you get asked a question by me, you answer it.
I feel really bad having to say this to you, but neither Jackson or I want to tell you very much detail about our new house we just bought, so please leave us be for the time being.
Why should I? What about me asking about my younger brother's house is so wrong here?
Ever since him and I started to become serious, you have always been around us, whether that be when our parents finally met with one another or when I went on trying wedding dresses. You were always around, right? Then you would always talk over us whenever we were discussing things, like this is your relationship and not ours. I'm sorry, but we didn't start dating and get married just so we could be bossed around by you, alright?
I'm just thinking about the both of you, since you're both amateurs when it comes to everything. And that's why I help you both out by telling you what I think. Yet for some reason, neither of you ever listen to me, and just do things the way you both like to. Had you both actually took what I was saying seriously, your guys' wedding would have been so much better.
Then please, when you decide to find a man of your own and get married, put those ideas of yours to good use and have a wonderful wedding.
You don't have to tell me that.
By the way, when it came to our honeymoon, you tried to come along with us as well, right?
That was just the place I had always been wanting to go, so I thought it would be the perfect time to tag along with you both. That's why I said I'd be coming along.
And what did you think would happen when you asked us to pay for you to come with us, even though it was our honeymoon?
Well, you never did end up getting me a hotel room or anything, so I was never able to come to the end. And we used that money in order to buy lots of souvenirs for everyone, right? By the way, I've never heard of any couple wanting their family coming along with them when they go on their honeymoon. So you're not going to tell me about your new house because you're still upset over all of that. I am Jackson's older sister.
And what do you plan to do with all that information you want to get from us about that place?
You already know what I plan to do. I'm going to live with the both of you. Live with the both of us? It's just the both of you going there, right? And even if you guys have kids, all you're going to need is 2 bedrooms. So I'm just going to assume there's 2 or 3 rooms in the house, as well as a kitchen and dining room. Also a living room and bathroom, right? As long as there's all of that there, then that should be perfect for the 3 of us living together. I can stay there as long as you guys don't have kids yet, if there's only 2 bedrooms, right? You did say the place is a house, right? Which means there has to be plenty of room in that place, so I'm expecting an empty room that you both won't be using yet.
And what you're thinking is that you can just come crashing into our new house and live in that room?
Don't be so rude. I'm not gonna come crashing into your house. I'm just being kind by allowing you both the privilege of having me to live with you. Having a lot of people in the house is a lot more exciting, right? I have been wanting a brand new house for so long now.
Well, this is going to be Jackson's and my house, so no thank you.
I'm sure you guys just bought that house because you won the lottery, right? So don't be such stingy jerks when you have all that money now.
How come you know about that?
Well, why else would you be having such a lovely house? I'm looking forward to it. If you guys are planning on moving in at the beginning of next month, expect me to be there at the month after that. I'll start preparing myself for the move over there.
I never said that you could come and live with us.
What's wrong with the older sister coming to live with her little brother? And by having me around in the future, when you guys have kids, you can use me to take care of them. When you guys are buying furniture for the place, please let me know. I'll be kind by coordinating what all you guys are allowed to buy. I don't trust whatever sense the 2 of you have. I already had to witness your guys' awful wedding before.
No, thank you. Jackson, I got another 15 calls today from your sister today. She also sent me a bunch of texts talking about how she wants to coordinate what furniture we buy for the house. She even sent me pictures of what she wants. I feel that no matter what I say to her, she's not going to listen.
I'm sorry, Katie. I really feel bad about how much of a pain my sister is. She has been trying to get a hold of me by call and text so much that I just went and muted all her notifications. She's still family to me, so I can't block her or anything. But she's nothing to you, so you can go right ahead and block her if you want.
I'd love to block her and all, but I know for a fact that she's tried and reached out to me on other platforms. I could even try changing my number and block her on all my social media accounts, but she'd figure out another way to find me. And if I were totally cutting her off and never responding to anything she says for a while, she'd probably come right to our house, right?
True. We've already bought the house and everything, so she can just look us up and find this house.
You've already told her no to everything, right?
About her asking to come and live with us? Of course I've told her no already. Not only is she a major troublemaker, but she's also a complete shut-in, so I do not want her coming into our house. I also know very well that she'd start to cause you even more frustration, and I do not want that.
Thank you for understanding.
We really need to figure out a plan, though. If we don't end everything now, she's gonna start causing problems for me and my work. I'm already having a hard time focusing there.
Same here. I try taking calls while at work, but while I'm on my phone, I can just hear my phone going off constantly because of her.
She does nothing with her life, so she has all day to just continuously call you.
What I don't understand is that if she wants to move so much into a new place and won't take no for an answer, why doesn't she just find a place for herself?
Because she has no money, and she's so used to having others taking care of her that she would never be able to manage on her own. She'd probably starve if she was kicked out of my parents' house. This is the whole reason why I told my parents to kick her out of their house as soon as possible, so all of that could be avoided.
Well, in her eyes, she sees nothing wrong with still living with your parents. But there's something wrong with it if she's that old.
But it seems that pretty soon here, my parents will both be retiring from their jobs. So I'm thinking once they're ready to retire, they will no longer want to take care of her. I really hope that means they'll force her out of that house.
You think that'll happen?
That's most likely why she's trying to move in with us now, right? She knows it's coming. She also knows about how you and I are working and make some decent money.
She also learned about how we won the lottery, so now she is really aware that we have a lot of money.
I think we're gonna have to cut ties to her here. If not, she's really going to cause us some major headaches. That woman has always been so mean about everything and never takes no for an answer no matter what. We really have to have a plan here, Katie.
Well, if you want a plan, I've had something come to mind.
What's that?
This will require us to get in touch with another retailer, which will cost a bit of money.
If you're worried about money, you don't have to be anymore now that we have money. As long as this will help us get rid of Eleanor, I'm all ears.
So we are both prepared to say goodbye to her forever, right?
Of course, you and I have our life together to look forward to, and it won't involve her.
Then let's talk about what I have in mind tonight when we are both home.
I can't believe what all of our life she's already made a mess of. Our wedding, our honeymoon, not this. I'm so sorry that we haven't been able to have a normal life yet because of her.
Don't worry about it, Jackson. Even with her being a huge pain, she's never made me want to say goodbye to you, and that's why I've started making this plan in my head. So let's talk about it tonight and put it in action.
Thank you so much, Katie. I'll do my best to get home from work early today.
The movers are heading over to your place right now, so make sure you're there to let them in. I don't have the key to your place yet, so you'll have to open the door. What are you talking about, Eleanor? Playing dumb, I see. I've already spoken to both you and Jackson about how I'd be moving in with you guys, right? You guys moved into that house at the beginning of last month as well, right? Hold on a second. We never even told you about where the house we bought was, right? All I had to do was look the both of you up and found the house. You already know about how I'm on my computer all the time, right? I've been using computers for years and years now, and know how to get any information I need to one. So, all I did was ask someone who knew how to find people where you both moved to, and after they told me how to look for you guys on my computer, I did just that, and boom. I get that you can do that, but just how? We made sure not to even post anything about our address and made sure that retail agency didn't upload anything. I was able to take a look at one of your private Instagram accounts. And on there's a picture of you on your day off going to eat, right? You actually upload 2 pictures like that on your account now since you moved. One is the picture of just you and the other is you and Jackson. And how did you find our address with those pictures? The place you guys went to eat was nowhere close to where you both lived before, right?
Which means if you guys were going out to eat at a restaurant on your day off and it was in walking distance, you both are living in that area. In the other words, I just had to look up newly built houses in that area to find out where you guys most likely moved into. Then I went to took a trip out there myself to confirm which new house you were moved into, and there I saw your guys' car parked out front. You did all of that? I was also able to pass the restaurant from your photos, and that place was really close to your new house indeed. I also happen to remember how you guys' weddings look, and based off that, I could tell that you guys' sense of style was when I was looking at the house. It's this, right? What? You're kidding, right? I should become a detective or something. Anyways, I know where the both of you are living now, and that means I can move in there by the end of the today. Hold on a second, Eleanor. If you moved out there, the only person who's going to be in any trouble is you. Now, why would I be in any trouble? I'm going to start heading there as well now, so I'll see you really soon. We aren't in that house, though. Huh? Are you both out shopping right now or something? Head back home right now and leave the door open for us. You can do that, right? That's not it at all. Eleanor, look at your phone. You both are still not home yet. I just arrived with the movers. We have to move all of my things into the house now, so hurry up already. Are you trying to make me upset? Well, I have no choice but to let myself in right now. Wait, how are you going to do that? There's nothing even in this house yet. Have you guys not fully moved in yet or something? Hold on. How did you even get in there? I broke in through the window. Duh. I told you that the movers are here and are pulling the trucks in. I can't keep them all waiting, so I had to find a way inside. And let me just say this now. You both are going to have to buy yourselves a new window. I told you I'd be moving in today and said that you needed to be home in order to unlock the door, so this is all your fault. You just broke into a house. I didn't break into just any house, though. This is your guys' house, and since my brother is the one who bought it, that makes it also mine. This house is mine. We are living in a condo, though. What? A condo? What are you talking about? You both bought a brand new house, right? We went and bought a newly built condo. You're lying. You told me before that you guys bought a house. That's when you and I first talked about it, right? And at that time, we were doing all the paperwork and everything for a new house. We had even paid quite a bit for the money already then. Look! You guys won the lottery and you both wanted a brand new house, right? And we did at the time, so we bought a brand new house, but we decided later that we weren't going to live in it. We wanted it in order to sell. In order to sell? The place was already being built at the time we talked with the retailer about it, and by the time it was finished, we decided to buy it. But it wasn't really to our liking in the end, so we decided we'd renovate it a little and sell it. So you guys didn't make that place the way you wanted? Even though you both won the lottery? Yes, we won the lottery, but it was only for a couple 100,000, not millions or billions. Just a couple hundred? That's why we couldn't afford to have a house built to our liking and settle with this place. But when it was finished, we decided to go for a condo instead. You have to be lying. What does this make of the house then? We are living in a condo now, so that place is not our house where we plan to live or anything. It's not even like we really own it anymore either now, since we finished the paperwork for selling it back to our retailer. If that was the case, why didn't you tell me a lot sooner? I've already started to have my stuff moved in here. You can get mad all you want about this, but the other who decided to take matters into her own hands and force herself to come looking for us was you. And you were the one that chose to break into a house that isn't even yours. We are living in a condo in a completely different town right now as well. You're not even in this town? Because of you wanting to live with us so badly and constantly calling my phone and Jackson's phone nonstop, we had to think of what to do about you. We gave up on that house because it wasn't worth the trouble and asked a new retailer and found us a condo. But you guys already paid for the place, right? You're just going to let it go to waste now? We didn't even think we'd be winning the lottery, so it doesn't feel like a waste to us. And we did sell the place back to the retail agency, so we got it around the same amount of money we spent on it from them. Of course, we were still out a couple thousand in the end, but we like to think of it as the price of cutting ties with you. So, with that in mind, this is a great deal for us. I think the total we lost was $5,000? You're cutting ties to me? Since this is a great chance for us right now, we're saying goodbye to you forever. You're kidding me. As a side note, the picture you sent to me of that house, that's not even the house we wanted at the start. We have no idea whose house that is, actually. Where are you even right now, Eleanor? What? Wait, what did you say? What do you mean you don't know? This house is really close to that restaurant the both of you had been going to. Actually, Jackson and I were both afraid of how much of a stalker you'd become, and in order to hide yourselves from you to the point you'd never be able to find our real house, we both went to a completely different town for a bit and have lunch and such. A completely different town? We just went on a drive to somewhere we'd never been before and found that restaurant I posted a couple times of. Then we talked to our new retailer and told them to get us a place that was nowhere near close to that area.
No way. So then that means this house I just broke into, it really has nothing to do with you both? This is really hard for me to say to you, but what you've just done is crazy enough to have the police called on you.
The police?
You did just break into that house through the window, right?
But there's nothing even in this house.
Is there a paper or anything on the door? Something that says the house has been sold or that the house is in the middle of being cleaned? Now that you mention it, there was a paper on the door.
I assume that since you both have money, you paid to have the house cleared by a company.
The house you assumed we bought would be newly built, so why would we pay for cleaning already?
What?
I'm thinking that the house isn't as new as you think, and that a new family is just preparing to move in, or the owner is preparing to sell it.
Wait, what am I going to do here? I've already had the majority of my things moved inside. Come here right now. Bring a truck or something and help me get out of there.
Not happening.
Why can't you do that for me?
I already told you why. Not only is that place very far from our condo, but both Jackson and I are cutting ties to you now. We really don't have anything to do with you anymore, even if you're about to be in major trouble with the law.
Then tell me where your condo is right now. I'll get my own truck and build all the things there myself.
I don't think you're quite getting what I mean by cutting ties with you.
I get that your place isn't as big as a house, but I need to go there.
Actually, this place is quite big and around the same size as your average townhouse would be. We had been looking for a place like this for a while as we looked at houses, so when the retailer showed it to us, we jumped. It actually has more square footage than the house we wanted at first, making this place even better when thinking of future children. It's also way outside the area you're currently at, so we don't have to worry about you coming here. I'm actually very thankful for what you've done, because had you not have gone completely crazy, we would have never came across a condo like this. Thank you very much, Eleanor.
If you're so thankful for what I've done, then help me get out of this mess right now. If the owner of this house came here right now, I'd be in huge trouble with everyone. All my things are here as well, so I can't just run away.
You are old enough to understand the responsibilities that come with being out of your mind, so please take care of them yourself. All of that has nothing to do with us here. We never even agreed to letting you come live with us in the first place, so figure things out yourself.
Are you saying you're completely fine with me being arrested by the police right now?
Honestly, I don't care what happens to you now.
I'm your husband's older sister, though.
And my husband doesn't care about what happens to you either.
Excuse me?
Take a look at all the things we've said to you before text and you'll understand that neither of us wanted you to come live with us. We didn't agree with you doing any of what you've done, so you're going to get no help from us. We're not even responsible for you.
Hold on a second. A car just pulled in the driveway. That's you guys, right? It has to be. It's your guys' car.
We're both in our condo right now. And we're about to watch a movie with some popcorn. And as far as we're aware, our car wasn't stolen from us, so that can't be it.
Wait, that means this car is...
Perhaps the person that owns the house or one of the retailers for it, or it might even be one of the neighbors come to see what's going on there.
No! I don't want to be arrested. Please come over here and help me right now. I'll tell you where the place is.
I told you plenty of times now that we're cutting ties to you, so you're not our problem anymore, Eleanor. We don't want you screwing with our lives anymore, and cutting ties to you was our only option. So you're never going to see either of us or hear from us again.
You're lying, right? I am Jackson's sister. You both really plan to just cut me out like this? Hey, Katie? I promise not to ever bother either of you ever again, so please help me here. This is one of the only things I'm asking from you too. Katie!
After that, I went ahead and finally put the nail in Eleanor's coffin by blocking her on both my phone and laptop. Jackson also went ahead and blocked her with me. And since then, we've never had issues arise with her. From what we heard from Jackson's family, Eleanor ended up getting into some legal troubles with the owner of that house after the police were called on her and took her to the local police station. A case was made against her for breaking and entering into the owner's home, and she would have to attend to court hearing about what happened to her. It was decided that she'd have to pay 10 times what the cost of fixing that window would be, as well as live with the crime of breaking and entering of her permanent record forever. After all that was decided upon, she tried to go back home to her parents, but neither of them nor the rest of the family would let her move back in, so she's currently living life in a tiny apartment, working at the local gas station in order to survive. It is going to be some time before she can pay off everything she owes to that victim, so until that day's come, she's going to be living in regret for all of her actions. She has always been a useless shut-in, so I find what happened very good for her, as it finally teaches her what being part of the real world is like.
You really need to give it a rest already, you old hag. I mean, really, just what the heck is up with that meal you made for us today? Or should I say reheated for us, since all you did was take out some leftovers, throw them in the microwave, and then serve them to us for dinner. Do you think that we're dogs or something? Do you think you can just feed us slop and that we won't notice what you're doing?
What in the world are you talking about?
Are you really calling what I served you for dinner slop? Of course it is! I thought I told you that I was going to be having friends coming over tonight, didn't I? I told you so that you could prepare for everything and make sure to start cooking us something amazing in the afternoon so it would be ready by evening. But instead, you just threw together whatever you felt like and then threw it on a plate for my friends and I. Why would you do that? Can you really not cook one nice meal for people? I don't know what you're even talking about at all. I made what I thought you would like, and I'll have you know that I worked very hard on it. You mean that you weren't just serving us leftovers? You actually made that today? And that's the best you could do? Even if I grant that you actually did try, who in the world would ever want to eat what you put in front of us? I mean, really, when you brought up that platter, I just felt my appetite leave me right away. I don't think that you're being fair at all right now. Anyways, that's why I just took the food that you made for my friends and I dumped it all into the garbage. Then we all just ordered takeout for ourselves instead. But don't worry, I made sure to use your credit card when we ordered the food, since it was your mistake in the first place. Are you kidding me? Did you really do all of that? What is the matter with you, Lisa? I don't really have time to keep up this conversation anymore. I have to go and drop off my friends, so I'll be going now. As for you, you better get back home while I'm out and make sure that it's spotless before I get back. Do you understand me? But you were the one that kicked me out of the house because your friends were coming over in the first place. And then you asked me to cook for you, and you just threw away all the food that I made? And now you order me to come back and clean up the mess that you and your friends made. I'm sorry, but I don't think you're being fair to me at all right now. I mean, just who do you think I am? Who do I think you are? I think you're the maid that lives in our house, of course. I mean, that is what you are, you know. You moved in here just to be my personal maid. Excuse me? Do you have any idea who you're talking to? I can't believe that you're saying all of this. Anyways, can you just make sure that the house is clean as it was before my friends came over? And while you're at it, go ahead and make something for me to eat when I get back. But this time, try actually putting some effort into what you're doing, okay?
Tom, are you there? I need you to answer me right now because I am seriously at my limit. Do you understand me?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is all of this about all of a sudden? Don't tell me that you got into another fight with Lisa.
She is just horrible. I mean, I don't even know if you could call it a fight at this point. Did you know that she asked me to cook for her and her friends only to call my food disgusting and throw it all away? Not only that, but then she demanded that I leave the house while her friends were over. And then on top of that, she demanded that I clean up after them all while calling me things like her maid. Do you have any idea how humiliating it is to be talked to by a child like that? It's just awful.
Oh, I see. Well, if that's all that happened, it sounds to me like you might need to work on your cooking skills a little then, right? I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with putting in a little more effort to try and impress your stepdaughter, you know? Besides, you are, after all, just a housewife, right? So it's not like you don't have plenty of time, that you're just at home alone. I think the least you can do is listen to what my daughter has to say to you and try to take those critiques as coming from a genuine place so that you can learn what you need to improve on. Then, when you start to do your job around the house in a fashion that suits you, Lisa, she might start to change her attitude towards you.
Do you have any idea just how hard I work to keep this house in running order every single day? I get up before everyone else to cook breakfast, and I'm always the last one going to bed as well.
Well, that just means that you're not at the level where you can do your job without taking up too much time. But I know there are plenty of wives way better and more efficient than you are. I mean, I'm not saying that as a dig against you, just that you shouldn't be so full of yourself, and maybe it's important to remind yourself that there are always more for you to learn. Is it really so bad to admit that maybe some of what Lisa has to say might be coming from a good place?
You do realize that I do so much more than just clean the house and do the cooking around here, right? I mean, you do realize that my meals are handmade, right? I make everything from scratch for you two. And the cleaning isn't just passing a vacuum over the floor once a week. I make sure to dust almost every day, and I'm constantly cleaning up after you two as well.
Sure, but are you telling me that you're not satisfied with your life already? I mean, you do realize that it's a mother's duty to make sacrifices for her husband and daughter, right?
Are you kidding me right now? You didn't just actually send that to me, did you? Are you even reading what I'm sending you?
I really can't deal with you when you get like this, you know? I mean, why can't you just keep the house clean and stop all your complaining? I really don't understand why you're being so ungrateful. I work hard every day to provide for us, and you don't see me complaining.
Well then, how about I go and find a job? What do you think about that? Because if you think that I want to just be a housewife, then you're wrong.
Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about? Are you telling me that you really think that you actually want to go out and work a real job?
I am just reminding you that the only reason I am not working is because you asked me to quit my job and become a full-time housewife. It was never something that I wanted to do, but because Lisa was just in the first grade, I wanted to try and be flexible and give it a shot. So I quit my job so that I could be at home and spend time with you and your daughter. All because I thought it would make the marriage go smoother. But now it's been years and I have been thanklessly working as a housewife for you both, and most days it just feels like I'm your maid. So you can go on all about how much you think you provide for us, but think about what your life would be like if I wasn't doing this for you as well.
Okay, look, I'm sure that you came up with all kind of excuses in your head for how you got here, but at the end of the day, you're the one who chose to be a housewife, remember? And if anything, I think you should count yourself lucky to have someone who wants to provide for you like I do. I give you a really nice life.
Oh, really? Because it doesn't really seem that way from where I'm standing right now. In fact, I would much rather have the chance to get out of the house more and get back into an office. So if you really think that I have it easy, then please allow me to ease your burden while I go out and look for a job. Because Lisa is already in high school now, and I just really don't understand why I should be at home all the time.
Oh, come on. You can't really be serious about this, right? You're telling me that you want to trade a life of a housewife just to go back to work?
That's exactly what I'm saying. In fact, I think you should also know that I've found a place where I want to work at. And I'm going out to find a job, and then you and I are going to split the work around the house. And then maybe you'll understand just how much effort really goes into keeping the house running well.
You have got to be kidding me with this right now. I mean, really, why in the world would you want to make me do work around the house? And if you think that I'm just going to let you find another job, then you have got another thing coming. Do you have any idea how embarrassing that would be for me?
What in the world are you even talking about? How would me going out and getting a job be embarrassing for you?
Well, because if you're a housewife who just now getting a job, then everyone is going to know something is up with us. And I just don't want people getting the wrong idea about what's going on and just jumping to conclusions.
I really don't think that anyone would care at all if I went out and found a job. I mean, I stayed at home until your daughter was old enough to take care of her own, and now I'm going back out to work again. It seems pretty logical to me.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about at all. And anyways, it just won't work at all. So why don't you just drop it, okay? Besides, even if you go out and find a job, I doubt that you could find one that would earn half as much as I do. So if you think that you can make me do housework when you're barely earning, well, then you're out of your mind.
You really think that I just can't be anything more than a housewife, don't you? Well, if that's the case, then I'm sorry, but I think I really am at my limit with you. If you aren't going to support me in getting a job, then I'm leaving this house.
Are you kidding me? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? You can't just leave the house.
I'm going to leave the house, and I'm never ever going to come back. So there. And if you don't want this to happen, all you have to do is let me work and do some more work around the house.
You really think that I'm just going to let you blackmail me like this? Well, it's not going to work on me. So if that's what you really want, then just leave. Like you said, Lisa's already old enough to take care of herself, so she doesn't even need a mother around anymore. And you think we're going to struggle if you leave us? Do you know how simple it's going to be to hire a maid to do all that you used to do? You think that you have all this power and pull all the influence over me, but you don't. I was always doing more for you than the other way around.
Okay then, fine. If that's really how you want to do things, then I'll leave, just like you said. We are going to get a divorce, and that is that. Hey there, you old hag. I just wanted you to know that I heard from my dad that you're finally going to be leaving. That's right. I'm going to start packing today and leave this house as soon as I can. Man, I knew you were useless, but I didn't expect things to escalate so quickly. It's pretty funny when you think about it. But it really is just so sad that you're getting chased out of this house by your own husband. Serves you right, though. I really don't think that any of this is sad at all. In fact, I'm glad to finally be leaving the two of you. You have never once shown me the respect that you should be showing your mother. Both you and your father have treated me like nothing more than some kind of maid who works for you. That shouldn't be how you treat a family. Well, you see, the thing is that we were never ever family to begin with. We're not even blood related. So how could you ever be my mother? I have been married to your father for 10 years now, and you two have never ever treated me like a family. I just told you. That's because you're not family. You're just a sad little maid who came to live with us for a while. But you weren't even good at being that either. You could barely do your job right, and that's why I was always getting so upset with you. But at least now you're finally going to be leaving us for good. We don't need some useless housewife hanging around here. You're nothing but a parasite just feeding off of my dad. How dare you talk to me this way? Someone really ought to teach you a lesson. Well, it's not going to be you since you're getting kicked out of the house right now. So how about you just pack up your things and get out already? Oh, don't worry. That is exactly what I plan to do. I plan on packing up my things and never ever coming back here again. Well, good. That works out just fine for me, because I never ever want to see you again either. So there. I'm already so happy thinking of coming back to the house without you there. Well, don't worry. It won't be much longer now before me and all of my things are gone from this house. In fact, if I do happen to run into you after this, I'll treat you like a complete stranger that I've never even met. And I expect the same from you. Oh, of course. Why would I want to do anything with a useless old lady that my dad doesn't even want in the house anymore? You're nothing to me and you never were anything. Well, perfect. I'm so happy that you said that, because this is going to make a great column for my magazine. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? I don't understand. Anyways, I have a lot of business to take care of, so I can't really waste my time anymore with you. You and your dad have a nice life without me in it. Hold on just a second. What do you mean your magazine? Where did that come from? I never heard about that before. Well, I don't really see why it's any of your business since we don't even know each other. Hey, Alexa, what the heck is going on here, huh? Did you seriously write about my dad and I in your magazine? Since when did you even work as a writer for a magazine? Wow. I suppose that I really shouldn't have expected anything less from a high school girl. It seems you follow magazines and online news and gossip and the like quite closely, don't you? But I thought that you and I were never going to talk to each other again if we could help it. Shut up and answer my questions. I want an explanation for what's going on, and I want one right now. I just saw that article on the front cover of one of the most popular magazines at this cafe. Not only that, but flipping through the magazine, it said that you were the one that published your own article as an open edition. Yeah, you basically just described the whole situation. And I think I know the cafe you're talking about since I'm close friends with the owner after writing a great review of the cafe. But I don't get it. This still doesn't make any sense to me at all. I thought that you were just a housewife. What's going on here? Well, as a housewife, I needed a place to get away from it all, and I found myself becoming a regular at the cafe. For instance, when you would kick me out when your friends were over, I would go to that cafe and spend hours there, and eventually became friends with the owner. In fact, he even asked if I wanted to take over his shop. But wait, this doesn't make any sense at all. Why in the world would he offer it to you? I guess he would do so because I'm not the useless housewife that you think I am. But I don't understand. You're the owner of a magazine, and now you're going to be taking over the cafe? You are talking about the cooking magazine, yes? I thought that the owner just recognized me and thought that I would be a good successor. After all, you most know that I'm a Michelin-starred chef, right? Hold on, what? What are you talking about? If that's true, then why did you feed my friends and I that horrible food? I'm sorry you thought it was horrible, but the general eating public seems to love it. Maybe you just have bad taste. But then, you must have a lot of money, right? I do okay for myself, thank you very much. But if you have that much money, then you have to tell my dad. I'm sure that he'll take you back if he knows that you're rich. 2 things. 1, I don't want anything to do with you or your father ever again. I have no reason to go back to him or you after the terrible way that you treated me. 2, your father was the one who told me that he never wanted me to work. I was able to work on my magazine in private, but I'm not about to beg for him to take me back and start new work running a cafe. But you can't just leave us. We had no idea that you had so much money. Here's a little tip from one former so-called parasite to another. If you want to try and have someone in your life for their money, you probably shouldn't just tell them to their faces. But I'm sure that I can talk to my dad and convince him to let you work if you want to. Please, we'll do more work around the house if you just come back to us. We really had no idea who you were. Well, that really isn't my problem in the slightest. You two acted the way that you did towards me and finally pushed me out of the house with your horrible attitudes. I told you that I never wanted anything to do with you or your father ever again. And I said that I didn't ever want you to speak to me again. So I really don't understand what you think you're going to accomplish by begging for me to come back when you've already made it clear that you're only doing so because you now know that I have money. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a life to get back to. After that, I started getting texts from Tom begging for me to take him back as well, but I just ignored them. Thankfully, we were already divorced and I was able to make sure he had no part in my life moving forward. Meanwhile, I finalized my purchase on the cafe and began running it part-time while I also continued publishing my food magazine. Learning how to run a restaurant is really hard work, so I was glad for that. I could really rely on my magazine stuff again, the same way that I did when I was married to Tom. As for Lisa and Tom, they continued to bug me, trying to find ways to worm themselves back into my life. But I really wasn't having any of it at all. I finally got to the point where I just blocked them on every medium imaginable. I did my best to cut them entirely out of my life, so that I wouldn't even have to hear the updates about what was going on in their lives. Now I'm finally going to be the wife of a company president. Thank you so much for letting me steal Hank away from you, Jane. But I guess you already must have known there was no way a girl like you could ever beat me. Wait, what? What are you talking about? Don't tell me that you and Hank actually got married today. That's right. We're actually just on the way back from the courthouse now, in fact. The officiator was so sweet and called us a lovely couple. We actually got many comments from so many different people there. Well, fine then. Congrats, I guess. I can't believe that you two actually eloped like that. I mean, to think that this whole time you were just plotting about how to steal Hank. You really are sick in the head, you know. Well, I'm so sorry that you feel that way, Rachel. But none of that really matters since I have Hank now and you don't. But you did know that I was a single mother, right? I was only looking for someone who could help take care of my family. Are you kidding me? Is that why you did this? Of course! My poor boy is always saying that he wants a new dad, and you have no idea how tough it is financially to be a single mother. But I just had no idea that I would ever run into my ex-boyfriend, and I had no idea that he had since started managing a company and was totally rich. After that, I just knew that I had to make him all mine. But wait, what do you mean ex-boyfriend? Well, I never bothered to say anything about it until now, but it's the truth. Hank and I actually used to be high school sweethearts and dated way back in the day. I bet you never once guessed that this woman who happened to send her kids to the same school as yours was actually an ex of your husband's. And now I bet you're just so shocked. But I was shocked to learn about who Hank had become as well. So then, you already had an in with him before all of this. That's why things move so quickly between the two of you. I mean, you two couldn't have been seeing each other for more than 3 months. I was wondering just how it was that Hank fell for you so quickly. Well, yes. As you can see, fate has brought Hank and I back together, and that's why the step to take was so obvious. And you should know that Hank is crazy about my son, too. So I guess I just had all the things I needed going for me to get him. And now my son is just so happy to have his new dad the way that he always wanted. Well, my son has been crying every single day now asking for his dad. It's just horrible. And this is all your fault, you know. All you've done is make someone else into a single mother. Well, as long as it's not me having to go through all of that, that's really all that matters to me. I just want what's best for my son, and that's that. Besides, if it was this easy for Hank to walk away from you, just how much could he have really loved you in the first place? But don't worry, I'll be sure to take really good care of your company president ex-husband, and I'll make sure that I'm always wearing expensive brand clothes around him. All on his dime, of course. There's no way that I'd be able to afford a wardrobe like that. And meanwhile, you and your son can live in a box for all I care. You mean you really don't care at all what happens to us now that you've done this? And look at me. Do you see me wearing expensive clothes or anything like that all of the time? I get most of my clothes from thrift stores at this point, thank you very much. Oh, wait a second. Don't tell me that you were just trying to brag just then. You're trying to tell me that only a real rich person would still wear regular clothes? I'm sorry, but that just sounds exactly what an out-of-place poor person would say about how the rich people live. But the truth is that you just don't have any taste at all. That's not true. What I'm trying to tell you is that Hank is not nearly as rich as you think he is. Oh, come on now, what is this? He manages a company, for goodness sake. Of course he's rich. And now that we're married, I'm going to be rich. Look, I'm just saying that I think I know more about his finances than you do. And let me tell you that they are just a mess. I know that he manages a company, but that company is a trash fire of failure right now. I was trying to help him restructure it so that he could save himself. But, of course, with the kid, I haven't really been able to do much as of the past couple of years. Oh, come on. You can't expect me to believe that. If he wasn't rich, then why is Hank always taking me out to nice meals? And why is he always buying my son and I presents if he didn't have any money to do so? You think I'm going to believe that business isn't going as well if he can do that? Are you kidding me? Is he really doing all of that? Of course he is. But I take it that you're not getting the same treatment, is that right? Maybe he just wants you to think he isn't really rich. But all the things that he gives my son are proof that he really does have money. And to think that after all of this time, he's still to be so sweet on me. I'm so happy to know what a nice man he's become in his adulthood. I don't get it. There has to be something up. There's no way he should have enough money for that. Well, that's not all. He's also said that he's going to pay for our wedding and make sure that it goes all out. And he's even going to buy us a nice house to live in, too. So what do you think about that, huh? This can't be happening. This is just crazy talk. I'm sure that you can't believe it, but I'd expect nothing left from my old flame. And we're going to have a wedding so amazing that it blows you out of the water. And then we're going to live in an amazing condo and I'll be rich. I knew that I was making the right call when I stole Hank. Well, fine then. I hope you two have a happy life. Enjoy your time together. Man, you're pathetic. Do you know that? I know that deep down you're really hurting inside. After all, I'd be upset too if my free meal ticket decided to leave me for someone else. I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I would just feel insulted, jilted, not wanted. But don't worry, I'll help you get over those feelings with an invitation to our wedding. You think I want to be at your guys' wedding? I don't even think it's gonna be the dream wedding you're picturing right now. In fact, maybe that's all the more reason to go.
Hey Jane, are you there? Please, you have to pick up the phone. What is this invoice that I'm getting? Are you really going to try to charge me $500 for my affair and for child support? Come on, you know that those numbers can't be right. Are you really serious about this?
Oh, I see that it arrived earlier than I thought it would. But yes, I'm very serious and I want you to pay right away. It is a higher number than you were imagining, I would guess, but I don't care. It shouldn't be an issue for you, apparently.
What are you talking about? Do you really think that I'm made of money or something?
Well, you are the president of a company, aren't you? Surely you must have plenty of money lying around.
Oh, come on. What is this? You know what the finances are with the company, and you know that I can't afford this. We're running in the red after all. Do you have any idea the amount of debt that I'm in?
I know that last time I checked, you were sitting on about $1 million worth of it. And all because you wanted to try expanding the business in an area it had no expertise in. So you just started investing in all the machines that you would need to start this new operation, and that's how you sunk it so deep into debt.
And now, on top of all of that, you think that you're going to get 500 grand out of me? You were the one who said you didn't mind paying the lower limit of what you could legally claim. Were you just lying to me this whole time about your intentions?
You're calling me a liar? That's just rich, isn't it? You begged me to do that for you since you told me you didn't have any more money. So I took pity on you and told you that we could arrange it so that you could pay me a much lower fee than you really should. Except now I found out that you've been taking Rachel out on expensive dates and buying her and her son all kinds of presents. So how is it that you have money for all of that, but not money for the woman that you just left?
Wait, hold on a second. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about how I just talked to Rachel, and she told me all about how you two used to date. And she told me that after you two ran into each other again, you started courting her and taking her out on all kinds of nice dates.
But wait, no. Hold on a second. I think that there's some kind of mistake here.
Oh, I'm not even through yet. Not only did you do all of that, but then you promised her some kind of extravagant wedding and a huge house or condo or something as well. Well, I just don't know why you were so flushed with cash. I mean, really, you wouldn't expect that kind of spending for someone $1 million in debt, so that's why 500 grand sounds like a fair amount to me.
No, wait, Jane, you really do have all of this wrong. I didn't say anything to Rachel at all. She just assumes that I'm some big success. And of course, I don't have the money to throw her a big wedding or buy a house or even a condo, so I really just can't pay your $500,000 either.
I am not going to believe a single word that you have to say to me. You betrayed me and you betrayed our son. You told me that you didn't have a penny to your name, but that was just a lie.
But you know that it's true. I really am $1 million in debt, and I just wanted to try and look cool for Rachel. I mean, it's not like when I was a kid from a poor family in high school. I had made something of my life, and I wanted to prove to her that I had.
So, while you were letting me know all about how bad things really were, you could just turn around and take her out on all these dates? What in the world are your priorities? Do you have any idea how tired I was trying to take care of the house and the kid while you were out just having the time of your life? You even started making me make major cuts in our budget at home, and meanwhile, you were out at nice restaurants.
And I am so sorry for misleading you. That wasn't the right thing of me to do at all.
Well, I'm not going to ask for a single cent less than what I'm demanding now, understand? You are going to pay me $500,000 for your affair and for child support, and then I never want anything to do with you again. And if you don't pay me, then you're going to force my hand. After all, you do know that I'm the majority shareholder for your company, don't you? So don't think that I'm afraid to call for a replacement of the president. I have the authority.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You mean that you would really try to kick me out of my own company? You can't do that. This isn't fair. I mean, don't you know how hard I've worked to build this place up from the ground?
I won't do anything to you or your company if you just pay me what I'm asking for.
But you know how hard this business is doing. And besides, I need to start scraping money together for the wedding. Be reasonable.
You know, Rachel actually invited me to the wedding, so I think I'll just go to watch the fireworks.
Oh, wow, that really was just such an amazing wedding, wasn't it, Rachel?
Although, I have to say, I was pretty surprised at how unorthodox it all was. After all, the venue turned you away because they said you didn't even have a reservation. What the heck was that? What happened today? My wedding! My big special wedding! How did Hank not even book a venue? Wait, what? You mean you didn't want all of this to happen today? And here I thought that Hank was making a statement about how your life didn't need a special venue or anything like that. Are you kidding me? You don't actually think that that's what's going on today, do you? Well, I just thought you might surprise us at the last minute. But looking at how upset your face is, I guess that really wasn't the plan. I don't know how this happened. I don't know who ruined what was supposed to be my special, perfect day, but I bet that you had something to do with it. You think that I had something to do with it? What makes you say that? Because I know that you hate me, and you're always trying to bully me. You were jealous that I managed to steal Hank away from you. And so somehow you managed to ruin all of the reservations that Hank must have made just to get back at us. Well, I hope you're ready to pay for all of this. I didn't do a single thing, thank you very much, Rachel. But then, who could have ruined my wedding like this? It had to have been you. You're crazy with jealousy. I know it was you, just admit it. Well, just note that I'm going to be suing you for the full amount of money that Hank sunk into all of those plans. You're going to pay for this. I'll make you pay for trying to sabotage the wedding between a company president and his future wife. I didn't do anything to stop anything. If you're looking for someone to blame, look at Hank. After all, he's the one who is $1 million in debt. So I know there's no way he'd be able to give you the giant wedding you were hoping for. And that's why this wedding was never going to really happen in the first place. But I guess Hank was too scared to say anything to you. Wait a second. What do you mean Hank is $1 million in debt? Where is all of this coming from all of a sudden? Oh, you poor naive woman. You really don't know what you've gotten yourself into. This debt didn't just pop up all of a sudden, but I already told you about how bad Hank's business was doing. He wanted to try moving in a new direction, it blew up in his face. He lost a big chunk of his staff, and now he's over $1 million in debt. What? That can't be right! Hank never told me anything about this at all! I thought he was rich! He told me his business was just fine! Well, he was just lying to you so that you thought all of that was really true. He wanted you to believe that it was fate that had brought you back with your old high school flame. And I'm sure that he was eager to make things work with you, so we put on airs. But then, all the fancy dates he took me out on, he did it when he didn't really have any money? That's right. Like I said, I had been helping him with his business for a long time, so I knew all about exactly what state his business and personal finances were in. Of course, after he betrayed my son and I knew I wasn't going to raise another finger to help him. But don't worry, I made sure to make him pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars for your affair and for child support. Hold on a second. Hank is broke and you still made him pay you hundreds of thousands of dollars? You can get all that much just from a divorce? Well, then that's what I'll do too. No, you aren't reading carefully enough. I got that money because he was cheating on me and because he was leaving his child. I doubt that you'd get anything but a share of his debt if you tried that now. So then, I wouldn't get anything for leaving him at all? That's right. You just have to ride that wave to the very bottom as Hank's business falls apart. Please, you have to do something to help. You said that you were helping him run his business, so surely you must be able to turn this around, right? I'm begging you, please. You have to do something to save us. After that, I followed Hank's business in the news and watched as it did worse and worse until finally, it went bankrupt, and finally had to close the doors forever. All that while, Hank and Rachel were blowing up my phone, begging for help. It got to the point that I finally had to block them. In the end, I heard that Hank ended up with about $3 million worth of debt. When Rachel's parents heard about the situation, they put up a big fuss and insisted on taking Rachel back to live with them at their house. From there, they made sure Rachel worked hard and always made her debt repayments on time. As for Hank, he also has to pay his share of the debt, but he's fallen completely off the radar for me. And frankly, I don't really care what happens to him anyways. I got what I needed to take care of my son, and that's all that matters to me. How dare you trying to flirt with another woman's man? What is the matter with you, you creepy little stalker? You've got some nerve, do you know that? I'm sorry, what are you talking about? I really have no idea what this could be about at all. I am talking about that man, and don't pretend like you don't know who I'm talking about. I just want you to know that he is my boyfriend, and you are just the ex that he wants nothing to do with. You're just old baggage from his past, and he doesn't want you in his life anymore. Don't you get that? I'm sorry. I don't even have this number saved in my phone. Just who am I even talking to right now? I mean, are you sure that you have the right number? I think that you might be talking to the wrong person. I know that I have the right number. There's no way that I would make a mistake about this. And I know for a fact that you're Jonathan's ex-girlfriend who keeps stalking him. Sorry, you think that I'm Jonathan's ex-girlfriend? Don't you play stupid with me! You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm not going to let you go and pretend otherwise. You're Jonathan's ex. Just admit it. Well, I just want you to know that Jonathan and I are married now. Do you know what that means? It means that he doesn't want you in his life any longer. Wait, what? You two are married? Are you serious? Did you really marry Jonathan? You mean that you didn't even know? What kind of horrible stalker are you if you didn't even figure that out? Although, I suppose someone like you would be shocked about this. A stalker like you is probably always holding out hope that you and your ex are going to be back together any day now. But you should know that I'm the one that he married, not you. So how about you finally just give this all up? Because John is my man and nobody else's. Got it? Okay, now hold on just a second here. I think that there's been some kind of misunderstanding. First of all, I am not his ex-girlfriend at all, okay? Excuse me? Don't you dare try and pretend like you're going to correct me if you're just going to lie to my face. I saw the two of you out on dates before. But now you're trying to pretend like you're not his ex that he broke up with and wants nothing to do with anymore? I knew that you were a little crazy, but this is just too much. I'm sorry, but I really don't think that you have a single clue about who you're talking to right now. Why don't you just give it a rest already and face up to the facts of reality, huh? And those facts are that you are Jonathan's ex-girlfriend and that you are still madly in love with him. You've been chasing after him all of this time since you two broke up, but you're nothing but a bad memory at this point. So you're the one that's wrong in all of this because John simply doesn't want you anymore. You're just an ugly fatty who needs to learn her place. Excuse me? What did you just call me? Are you kidding me right now? You do realize that Jonathan works for a very large and powerful company, don't you? He's a very high-paid employee on track to become management. He makes hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and is one of the hardest working men that I know. So he's not just some ordinary guy that anyone can date, especially not an ugly, fat stalker such as yourself. You never even had a chance with him. Okay, first of all, I don't see why you need to resort to name-calling for any of this. Second of all, you're the one who started texting me out of nowhere to accuse me of all these things that I'm just not. You're being incredibly rude right now, and it's preventing us from having a real conversation. Oh, just shut up already, you ugly cow. How dare an uggo like you think that you have any right to talk back to a pretty girl like me? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, are you even reading these messages that you're sending me? Look, I've seen what you look like on your social media, and I know that you're nothing but a fat, ugly woman who should be embarrassed to post photos of her own face. But I'll also have you know that whenever I post a selfie, my posts always get hundreds and hundreds of likes from all of my adoring followers. And that's why I was obviously the right choice to marry John. Look, you crazy lady. I'm trying to tell you that I am not John's ex. Him and I have never, ever dated. Don't you get that? You can go on all that you like, but you're still nothing but a stalker, and that's all you'll ever be. Especially now that John and I are married, now the chances that you two will ever get back together really are zero. So why don't you just give it up already and quit following John around? Hey, John, do you have a second? Because I'm talking to this woman who keeps telling me she's your wife.
Wait, what? What's this all about? I hardly even hear from you, Sally.
I know, but I just really need to know. Did you get married today?
Well, yes, I did get married. It's actually our anniversary today. Of course, I really did want to introduce my wife to everyone before it happened, but... well, everyone was just so busy with work and all, and I couldn't get any time off to arrange a proper meeting, so it just kind of happened that we got legally married today. Is this why you wanted to message me? I know that I should have introduced her to Mom and Dad first, but...
No, that's not what this is about at all. If anything, I think it's too bad since now that means you can't go back without lots of trouble. But anyways, I just want to talk to you about something, and I ask that you believe me, because I just wish that you would have told us a little earlier that we could have found out the kind of person your wife really was.
Oh, well, if that's what this is about, then you've got nothing to worry about at all. Julia's a really sweet lady. She's so quiet and thoughtful, too. I mean... this is a little cheesy to say, but she really is my dream woman.
Are you kidding me? Is that really the kind of person that you think you've married?
I mean, to be honest with you, I think that she's way too pretty for me, so I always get flustered around her. But we actually met because I rescued her from some guys who were catcalling her. I thought that she would have been cold to me after all that happened, but she was really sweet and got along quickly after all. And as a way to say thanks, on the day that I helped her out, she gave me her number. After that, it was really only a matter of time until we were dating.
I see. And you're saying that Julia is a sweet, quiet, thoughtful person, is that right?
Yeah, she really is great. And I've been thinking that you two would probably get along really well. In fact, I would really like it if you two could meet. So I know that we're getting the order a bit backwards. But how's this weekend work to meet?
Oh, I'm really sorry to say, but I'm actually going to France next weekend. Although, I would really like to meet her as soon as possible. She is your wife, after all.
Man, you really do know how to keep busy all of the time, don't you? Can't you ever catch a vacation?
No, I'm afraid that my job loves to fly me around for all kinds of things, and they aren't really as generous with time off as your job is. But it's okay, because I really love my job, so even traveling, it's okay. And of course, they compensate me really well, so...
Well, I just think that it's unfortunate that we'll have to put off you meeting my wife, but I guess that means that the first time you meet her in person might be at the wedding.
Yes, I suppose that's how it's going to be shaking out at this point, right? Of course, meeting your wife for the first time at your guys' wedding has me a bit nervous. I just hope that we really do get along.
I don't think you have anything to worry about in the slightest. I mean, I really think she is so kind, and there's no way you wouldn't get along well. So I really don't think there's any need to be nervous about meeting her at all. Things are gonna go great.
I know. Do you ever worry if maybe she's just playing a character? I mean, what if that woman isn't the woman that she says she is?
I'm sorry, Sally, but I really don't think you have any idea what you're talking about when it comes to that. I know Julia, and she is a kind, sweet woman who wouldn't hurt a fly. Anyways, I think that I need to turn in for the night, but good luck with your business trip. We have a lot of planning to get on with this wedding, but we'll see you there.
What do you think you're doing here, you stalker freak? I thought I told you that I wanted you to give up on John. Why can't you just leave him alone? Are you kidding me right now? Are you still seriously keeping this up? Well, I thought that I had finally seen the last of you, and that you were finally going to leave him alone. But now you've gone and snuck into our wedding? When is a fat, ugly woman like you finally going to realize that nobody wants you around anymore? You really have some nerve, do you know that? Okay, I'm sorry, but there has been some kind of miscommunication somewhere, and you really need to understand that I'm not John's ex. Okay, please. You really are just delusional, do you know that? What are you going to tell me, that you still want to try and marry him even though we're already married? I really don't even know what to say to you. Why are you acting this way towards me? This is really uncalled for. I can act whatever way I want with you, because it's my wedding and I'm the main character. So if I want to try and kick you out of my wedding, then I have the right to. But why can't you just stop all of this and listen to what it is I have to tell you? Why in the world should I stop and read what a crazy stalker like you has to say? I want you out of here, and I'm not going to let you buy time. In fact, I think I'm going to call the police and have them drag you out of here. So what do you think about that? How do you think you'll feel when you're being dragged out of this wedding? Are you serious? You're really going to call the cops on me? Have you lost your mind? Oh, you're right. That isn't nearly enough punishment for you. I need everyone to know what a crazy stalker you are, so I'll be putting up photos of you getting arrested so everyone knows to watch out for you. What is your deal? You're taking this way too far right now. Do you know that? That's right. You're scared to have everyone know the kind of person that you really are, isn't that right? You're so scared for me to post photos of you getting kicked out of here. But the real joke is that I've already taken photos of you and sent them to my mother-in-law and John's family, all to tell them to avoid talking to you. You mean that you really sent photos to John's family calling me a stalker? Are you serious? That's right! And before long, everyone is going to be mad that you're even here, and nobody will care if I throw you out of here. And then finally, I'll tell John to step forward while you're crying and in handcuffs, so that he can tell you to your face that you two are broken up and that he doesn't want anything to do with you ever again. Then maybe you'll finally learn your lesson about messing with me. You really don't even realize what you've done right now, do you? What in the world are you talking about? I haven't even gotten started with you, really. You're just a girl that nobody would ever want to date who can't get over the one lucky break that she had. But if you don't get out of here right now, I really will call the cops on you and have them drag you out of here in the most humiliating way possible. Okay then. I guess you can tell John that his little sister went home early. Wait, what? What in the world are you talking about now? I mean that I'm sick and tired of explaining to you that John and I never ever were dating. Do you understand that? But don't worry. If he asks why I wasn't at his wedding for the entire time, I'll just tell him that it was you that told me to go home. But I do really hope that you two are able to have a good ceremony after I've gone and I'm not here anymore. But wait! This doesn't make any sense at all. Are you really John's little sister? I mean, is John really your older brother? That's right, and it's what I've been trying to tell you this entire time. I'm Sally, John's little sister, and John is my big brother and always has been. I'm sorry that we haven't been able to meet in person this entire time, but my work keeps me very busy with all kinds of business trips, and we just weren't able to work something out. But wait, this has to be some sort of lie or something like that, right? I mean, you can't actually really be his little sister, right? I mean, this whole time I thought you were his ex-girlfriend. Yes, well, I do love my big brother a lot, but only as a sister. And like I said, we've never ever dated or anything like that. What? How can this be? I really had no idea about this at all. This is all such a surprise to me right now because I had no idea that that was the case the entire time. Yes, well, I did try to correct you for a long time, but you refused to believe that I was anything but a stalker and a former lover of John's. But it's like I'm saying to you right now, John and I are brother and sister, so there's no way at all that I would ever date him. And now you've gone and insulted me to the point that I want to leave this wedding and never come back. I mean, really, did you know that I had just gotten off of a 10-hour flight before coming here? I'm way too exhausted to deal with this crap now. But, I mean, I don't get it. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. I remember when we started dating, I made John take down a bunch of photos that he had in his room, and some of them were of you. I was worried that he hadn't gotten over his exes, and he told me that those photos meant a lot to him. Well, it sounds like to me that you just demanded that he take down family photos in his own room. And if he did have photos of me, it's probably because, as I already mentioned to you in a previous message, my job is always sending me away on business trips, so John and I hardly get to see each other anymore. But then, doesn't that mean that I was just acting totally controlling and making John put away important family photos? Yeah, that's actually exactly what that sounds like to me. Although, I assume that you used those photos to track me down, right? That's right! I was looking for your social media accounts using those photos until I was finally able to find you. And so you found my social media account but didn't double take at all that John and I had the same last name? You think that I'm going to dig that deeply into some silly little ex of my now husband? No way! I just thought that you were a crazy stalker wanting to get back with him. Not only that, but I guess I was just so worried that John might still have feelings for you. I mean, he had photos of you and he talked about how amazing you are all the time, and I just thought that he still had some hang-ups with his ex. That's why when I saw that you were still trying to spend time with him and be with him, I was worried that you were one of his exes and were trying to steal him away from me. Wait, what? You mean he really talked about me all that much to you? That is actually just so embarrassing for me. But anyways, you should know that John actually did have an ex who was hung up on. So it's possible you were seeing some of his posts about her, and were assuming they were about me. But I guess that's just what you get for not doing your due diligence and actually doing any proper investigating at all. Oh man, this is actually so embarrassing that John was talking about me like that. I knew that he missed me a lot, but I guess I just didn't quite realize how much. But then, are you telling me that this entire time I've just been getting every single tiny detail of all of these assumptions that I've been making completely wrong? Is that really what's going on here? Yeah, I mean, that seems to be what has actually been going on this entire time. Of course, I knew from the very start that you didn't have a clue what you were talking about at all. But yeah, in case I haven't been able to make the point clear enough by now, I am not John's ex. I never was his ex. John and I never, ever dated. And the reason for all of those is because he and I are brother and sister. Not only that, but I have a boyfriend. But anyways, I've had enough disrespect from you, and I think that I'm just gonna go home now. I don't know why I would put up with any more of this from you. Wait, no, please. You can't go. I really didn't realize that I was making these mistakes at all. Please, you have to understand that this is all just a huge misunderstanding. I mean, you have to know that if I knew that you were John's sister, that I would never have treated you the way that I did. I mean it. I just didn't know that you were his sister is all. But I see that it was a mistake this entire time, and I realize what it is that I was mistaken about. So please don't go. I need you here. I don't know what's going to happen when John realizes that I've scared off his sister from his wedding. Yeah, well, you've basically spoiled my appetite for being there, and I don't plan on coming back at all. You made all kinds of horrible assumptions about who I was, then you started saying all kinds of mean insults to me, all because you didn't bother to check that you were working with the correct information. You've been nothing but unpleasant to deal with this entire time, and I don't really see why I should do anything for you after all that you've put me through at this point. Please don't say that. You have to know that I just didn't have all of the information that I needed. I didn't have the full picture, and that's why I said what I said and did the things that I did. But you have to know that if I knew that you were John's family, then I would never, ever have said any of those things to you at all. It's all just one big, huge mistake. Huge mistake or no, the huge mistake was done by you. And huge mistake or no, but you still acted horrible when you were working under all these false premises. So no, I'm not going to do anything to help you now. Got it? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back home and get rest. And you can explain to my brother why it is that his little sister isn't at his wedding. After that, I did exactly what I told Julia I would do, and I went home and took a long nap to recover from a long flight that I had arrived on this morning. When I woke up, it was several missed messages from both Julia and John. Julia was begging me to come back to the wedding, each message getting more and more desperate than the last one. Meanwhile, John's messages revealed that he eventually did notice that I was gone and asking where I was. Finally, I assumed that Julia must have come clean to John about what had happened between us, because John texted me saying that the wedding was off and that he was so sorry for the way that his wife had treated me. While I didn't want to be the reason John got a divorce, he also got married without ever introducing his fiancée to the family at all. I told him that he was an adult who could make his own decisions, but that he shouldn't divorce just because of me. Still, John and Julia did end up getting divorced, and John still apologizes for all the things that she said to me to this day.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.